Beautiful day in Salt Lake City.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. We're still here at ng-conf. I'm here with Nathan Walker.
Hey, everybody.
Now, we talked to NG Atlanta. We got to do it again.
This is awesome. I haven't seen Chuck since Atlanta. 2 months, maybe.
Yeah, 2 whole months. But, yeah. So you're speaking at ng-conf?
Yes, Jeff Welpley and I did a talk yesterday. It was a lot of fun.
What'd you talk about?
We presented super-powered, server-rendered progressive native apps.
That's a lot of words, dude.
It's a lot of words. We have had a particular passion to bringing together a lot of different technologies, specifically with Angular. So universal, this involves progressive web apps, also mixing them with native apps, and trying to make that all work together for a cohesive goal.
Awesome. So, again, lots of words. Progressive, there's universal, which is typically server rendered. So what's kind of the goal there? I mean, is it SEO? Is it just apps that perform well? I mean, what are you after?
Let's break it down a little bit. The universal aspect for sure is for SEO. So Jeff actually worked on most of the universal setup in Sketchpoints, which is the platform we introduced yesterday. It started out as a concept app where we could utilize all these different technologies for this singular goal. Universal to try to deliver a really nice marketing page that would have high SEO to drive traffic back to the product.
Right.
And then the progressive web app is actually loaded behind the scenes from that SSR page. So when you interact with a sketch on that page, it actually immediately shows the PWA and you can interact with that sketch. The apps, we wanted to deliver a iPad app specifically for artists for the Apple Pen with an iPad. Artists in particular, there is a good surface that you can get on the iPad, and it has a really good feel for a sketch artist. And so we wanted to try to deliver a good sketch experience. So we published an app. It's called SP Artist. It's on the App Store, and artists can use that to stream their sketch artwork live. So we brought an artist to ng-conf. His name is John Nedzwicki, and he has done sketch art for the Angular community before.
Okay.
Back in the fall, I think it was Orlando Angular Mix. He did all the sketches for most of all the talks from there.
Oh, wow.
And this is when I first had seen them, and I reached out to him. This was maybe October, and I said, hey, I love all of this stuff that you're doing. It'd be so cool in the future to do something with this, because I felt like not many people have seen his sketches, and they were really valuable. They actually provided a nice high level,
Right.
Look. They were fun of everything that happened from those talks. So when Jeff and I got together and we started to plan this talk, we knew we wanted to build a real product because we thought that could be a little more relatable. And this came to mind, and so we reached out to John and said, hey, this is back when I mentioned you a couple months ago, would you be interested in doing this? And thanks to him, he was super excited to do it. So we brought him out, and he did all sketches for the talks yesterday.
Nice.
So yeah, you can check them all out on sketchpoints.io.
Very cool. So when you say it's an iPad app, does that mean that you're using like Ionic or NativeScript or something else?
In this case, the PWA we ramped up with the builder from NX. So we built everything in NX. And then the app for the artist we built with NativeScript. And then we have a viewer app as well, which is a separate experience. That's just to consume and show the artists back love. So you can actually purchase Sketchpoints coins, which can be used to redeem badges. And they're badges for all the sponsors for ng-conf, as well as just communities, companies that are related to ng-conf that are all in there. And you can give those badges to the sketches that you like. Any proceeds that go to buy those Sketchpoints coins, we're donating to Women Who Code.
Oh, cool. One other thing I'm wondering about is, did you give your talk dressed like this?
I actually wish I would have given the talk like this. No, I think Jeff would have been pretty terrified, as well as maybe the entire audience. So
I don't know. I think I need to introduce you to my friend Ward Bell.
His outfit looks great today.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So we introduced something else along with this talk. As we were building this, part of us putting this together was for also Jeff and I, we both, for the past 2 years, we've always been in touch on multi-platform development and have had different perspectives on it, and we've experimented with different setups. And so in this talk, what we wanted to do is come up with something that worked in NX that we've all grown to love, but also kind of expanded and improved upon this multi-platform desire that we've always had. So we introduced XPlat. XPlat is an added value pack you can add into NX. It's provided via an Angular schematic, and it can be installed with in-studio schematics, and that will give you all the XPlat tools.
Very cool. So much stuff to check out.
So it was a lot. It's a lot of stuff to put into 20 minutes in the talks. The talks were certainly pretty tight time span. So I think in the future we will talk about some break-off topics from this. Jeff and I, for sure, personally learned a lot ourselves in this, and we're taking these things that we learned and applying to our projects today. So we actually have them already in some projects that we're working on now, and so it's been a great experience for him and I both to kind of take our both perspectives, which came from different areas, and try to come up with something.
Very cool. So what didn't you fit in 20 minutes?
I would say there's a lot with SAS styling and sharing that would be nice to go through. Sharing styles is one thing that's really nice to be able to do in a multi-platform development area, so we didn't really touch on that at all. But that would be nice. Another one is the SSR portion. How much of the SSR portion could be shared and utilized, even if you had two marketing efforts that were taking place in this product that you're pushing. You could do a marketing for just the standard website to draw people to the product, but maybe you want to market a totally different angle, and you may want to do a different universal setup to stamp that out for SEO to drive traffic in a totally different market segment. So we'd like to show more how to reutilize a lot of the SSR setup. So we did publish a open source repo that can be explored. It's actually a snapshot of the entire Sketchpoints platform that we built. Right now, as of today, it doesn't have the SSR portion in because we want to dial a few things with the way we're dealing with the build process. And once we get that, we'll then release that on that repo and people can check it out.
Cool. Now, I'm going to take a quick break and plug our sponsor real quick. That's Kendo UI. Kendo UI paid for the interviews at this conference.
Thank you, Kendo.
Yeah. You work for Progress, don't you?
I love the Progress family. I do not work for them, but I do love and appreciate everything that they do.
Very cool. Yeah. So anyway, if you're looking for visual elements, you can put on your page, or you can stick it in your apps. Works great. I just love their smart data table and things like that you can pull together and just make it work. I keep talking about the data table because I really like it. But they have graphs and all kinds of other stuff that you shouldn't have to build for your own app. So go grab a license and try it out.
Speaking of data tables, I have to mention Jeremy Elborn's talk touching on the schematics around Angular material. That's something Kendo UI could take advantage of as well. It was a really nice way to automatically drop a data table in that's already kind of integrated into your module and kind of sets up the view. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to a lot of the schematic stuff that's coming down. I'm a huge proponent of automation. I mean, if it's something that you have to do, but you don't have to do, then do it once and automate it. And so the schematics are a big part of that, I think.
Definitely. Yeah, automation is awesome.
Yep. So one of the other things that I'm hoping to achieve with these interviews is just to give people an idea of who the speakers are. So, what I'm looking for, I guess, is A, where do you work and what do you do there? And then the other part of it is B, what do you do when you're not coding, not at work?
So not to speak to the obvious, but obviously I'm a fan of the 80s, definitely a kid of the 80s, and I have loved that, and I'd say it's affected a lot of the passion and drive that I apply to some things that I do. But In Studio is a company that I started with Brad Martin and Nathaniel Anderson, and we have about 6 partners now, and we love to develop and work on creative solutions for folks. So anything in the mobile realm, web and back end, around Node specifically, we love to work on. My background in web and mobile spans about 15 years. I've started doing most web work when I was maybe 21, and it kind of just developed and got deeper from there.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And what about on the personal side? So what do you do for fun?
I'm outdoors. Used to live in Portland and really thrived in that city. I love that environment. So definitely I run quite a bit. I'd say every other day, bike when I can. I live in Chico, California, so it's actually a beautiful area to bike specifically. So I really enjoy doing those things, and definitely a moviegoer for sure.
Nice. Very cool. Well, if people want to see what you're working on these days or get a feel for, what you're thinking about, Twitter, blog, other stuff.
InStudio.io is a great place to check out some stuff. We're starting to publish more and more blog content. So we introduced XPlat on there, and there's kind of a walkthrough and guide where you can try to set it up and play with it yourself. So we plan to have a lot more materials through that blog.
Right.
But Twitter is www.alkerrun. So
very cool. All right. Well, thanks for dropping in and talking to us for a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Chuck. I appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you at the next conference, I guess.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.